So I am up on the hill, the very top of the hill. We've started working on our eastern loop, and behind me is the southwest corner of that loop. And we've started adding some material here. You can see there's down trees all over the place. We've got branches, we've got stumps, and we've been grinding some stumps and cutting some more trees. Starting to snake our way around to the left. That's the southernmost part of the loop right there. So we're going to kind of work our way around. So let's take a look down the line here and see what they're doing. They're moving some dirt down here, and we can take a look at how that's coming. So we have finished laying track for the year, as we've said before, and now we're up on the eastern loop. This video here is taken from the southeast corner of the loop, and our new goal now, in addition to laying ballast, which we've shown you in previous videos, is to try to get as much of the right-of-way at least roughed in for next spring's track laying. And if we can do that, that'll make it go quite a bit faster. We don't know how much time we have left. It's the beginning of October, but the ground is still dry. We have not had any rain literally in weeks, and so we're trying to get as much of this prepared as possible. It is a wet site. We've said that many times, and if we get a rainstorm at any point here, we're going to get shut down because it'll take at least a week to dry out. So we're trying to get as much ahead of ourselves as we can.
Hi, I'm Joe, back with you for another tip from the O'Galley Scenic Railroad on rebuilding this engine. I'm going to demonstrate how we put one of these pistons back together. I went out and got new rings for it. So there's 3 different kinds of rings here. One of them's an oil scraper. Well, there's 2 of them are oil scrapers and one of them's a compression ring. And for those hardcore enthusiasts out there, you'll probably say that I'm probably wrong, but that's okay. I don't care. When you put these pistons back in, there's a little notch on it, and that notch goes to the front of the engine. And then when I took them out, I label them all. This is number 2, so I'm going to put that in the number 2 spot on the block. So you just pick it up, set it in there, and as you can see, those rings are sticking out beyond the cylinder, so it won't settle in. So we've got a tool here called a ring compressor, and that just fits over the top of the rings, and then you just push it up a little bit, and then you take this Allen wrench and you just well, I can't do both at once. You just twist the bands, and they get smaller and smaller and shrink down and start grabbing the rings, or grabbing the rings in the cylinder and start compressing them. And I'm going to push that back up a little bit because I like to start with a little bit of height. Whoops. There we go. Well, she dropped again. That's okay. And we'll try it again. There we go. Okay. Now it's going to stay up a little bit. So now you just tighten your ring compressor down, good and tight. And then I like to take a fiber mallet. I don't like to use steel on pistons. It's just not a good idea. Too much of an opportunity to break something. So we'll check it one more time to make sure it's tight enough, make sure it's got the rings compressed. And it is. And then we'll just take the mallet, and in case you haven't already noticed, I've used a lot of oil on stuff, so everything's well lubricated. And you just keep tapping the piston down like that. And voila, it's installed. As you can see, the notch is to the front like it's supposed to be, and the piston's all the way into the engine. So now, for your next Operation Lifesaver tip of the day, next time we shoot a video, I'm going to talk to you about the emergency notification sign. Those little blue and white signs you see at every railroad crossing. So have a good day until next time.
So we're out here on the main line today. We're on kind of out by the cornfield on the north side of the railroad. And behind me, you can see a widowmaker. It's a tree that fell down partway, got caught in another tree, and it's leaning over the main line. Not cool. And so today we're going to try to eliminate that tree and a couple of the trees around it that are dead, so that it doesn't someday come crashing down on one of our passenger trains and hurt somebody. So we're going to show you a little bit of how that happens and what it looks like when we're done. So our buckthorn eating goats are still working away. Here we can see them taking a break and playing on some of our culvert pipe. And so most of the area that they're in now has been cleared. And Judith is going to come in and explain what the next steps are.
All right, Joe, who's in the forest there, we're moving fence to bring the goats to a new place. If you've been following us, you can see that they've stripped buckthorn in the previous place. I believe Den is going to go in, uproot some big stuff. We'll be putting the goats back in there as a cleanup. They'll eat the berries and the leaves. They'll continue to strip some of the small stuff. Right here, I'm going to be looking at probably bringing in some kind of a loppers to get some of this grass down. Because it's electric, we don't want a lot of grass and little things draining on the electrical charge. So our challenge will be to get across this creek, get this low enough. Last week they didn't get it on camera, but one of our babies escaped under the fence and had to be corralled and put back. So we want to avoid that this week. So our original fence is back through the trees, not very far. So we need another section, about 150 feet is what this is, each section. We'll be able to connect with our other fence, open up a spot for Den to go in with what we call the puller to uproot some buckthorn, and that will let as I said before, let the goats eat the seeds that would normally repopulate buckthorn. And since it's invasive, we don't want that to happen. Joe, do you have something you want to add?
I could just do some botanical things. This is one of my favorite trees right here. You can see it's kind of getting old. It's actually a shrub. It's called a hawthorn. It's native to Wisconsin and Minnesota. And if you look really carefully here, if I don't fall in, it has huge thorns or stems. It sometimes gets confused with buckthorn because it'll grow. It's natively supposed to be what's in where the buckthorn now grows. But this shrub is actually important for different types of birds. And so the fact that if we can get this buckthorn cleared out and the hawthorn can come back, this will make it a wonderful place to go birding or just see the birds as you go on the train.
So I'm near our shop here on the railroad, and on our side track here we've got our magazine car. And originally, a few videos ago, we explained that we were going to try to turn this into a caboose, and we have now changed our mind. We've been thinking about it, we've been talking about it, and the plan now is to restore it back to what it looked like before all of the sides became missing and it got rusty and some of the parts got broken and whatever. So we're going to restore this back to a magazine car the way it originally was. Get all of the old paint stripped, of course, repaint it. The sides and the ends were simple plywood. The floor was a plywood floor, so we're going to replace all of that, get all the running gear and everything repainted. We can't rebuild the brakes because we don't have the components, but we don't really need them because we're going to be, we use wheel chocks when the cars are sitting by themselves, and so that isn't really going to matter. So that's the update on this. Some of you may be disappointed, but on the other hand, we think bringing it back to what it once was will be just as neat. When we're done with it, we intend to use it as a tool car. We are now laying track about a half a mile from here up on the upper loop on the east side, and so everything we do has to be carted that distance. So we thought we'd get this restored, put all our track laying tools in here, and then we can bring this car up to the other end where we're working and have access to our tools. We can lock the car up if we want to leave it up there overnight or whatever, or if we want, we can bring it back down. So that's the update on this car, and we are now in the beginning of October, so real soon here we're going to be trying to get this stripped down so we can get it in the shop and work on it over the winter, and then it'll be ready for use in the spring. So when our ballast is delivered by dump truck, it has a tendency to spread into the woods. We're trying to bring in these blocks to help prevent that. So in our continuing effort to bring our cameras and our camera gear for YouTube videos kind of up to par here, we've been buying some stuff. We've got our GoPros that we've showed in another video, and we decided that we'd try to use a gimbal to keep the stick shots as steady as we can. So we've got our gimbal here. We just got it in. Justin's very excited to open it. So we're going to open it and see what we can do with it here.
Because we are surprised at how fast this channel is growing and how many of you are actively watching us.
Yeah. So we're just trying to keep up. It's not easy for us. Very exciting.
So this is the Steady 4 Pro that we ordered on Amazon.
Don't cut yourself, Justin.
And it should work with this GoPro Hero 10 Black that we picked up off Best Buy.
A little windy today.
Well, I like seeing that. Where it comes with its own case.
Ooh, fancy.
And it's very much like the cases the GoPros came in. So
Wow.
it's got a nice, thick booklet in multiple languages with teeny tiny print.
Lots of late night reading material.
Okay.
And there it is.
Yeah, so this is the GoPro Hero 10 Black. So, and this does have an auto shut off. So we have it currently set at a half an hour. So with this gimbal, that's a setting that you might want to turn off, I'm thinking, if we're using this. And these GoPros are interesting that you change that setting in the GoPro app.
Oh yeah, right.
So you can change it on the fly.
Yeah.
But we got two of these, so I got to remember if this is one or two. So we got it powered on. So
So he's manually tilting it up
yeah, I'm just
and left to right.
there's the settings. I just gotta find out what the settings are for and read the manual.
So you can see what a gimbal does for a camera is it obviously holds it steady
Yeah, so
on two
that's
different
my left.
axes. So you can tip it down and it'll continue pointing in the same direction. Or side to side.
And that's the rotate. And we do have the cameras locked for landscape. So they do shoot portrait as well, but we're not actively doing the short, so we want it in landscape at all times.
So turn the camera and point it that way and then do your tip so they can see it. Point it at the building. There. So you can kind of see how that works. Very neat.
And there's a trigger. Got to find out what the trigger's for. Again, it's going to be in the manual. It's USB-C to charge. It's got 14 hours of battery life.
It's a lot of battery.
Well, we got a lot of stuff to charge now.
We do a lot of shots. Obviously, we have a railroad, so we're doing a lot of chasing trains with side by side or vice versa. And you always, with a stick, you're always jumpy and bouncy, and this should hopefully take care of some of that.
And it is Bluetooth. I don't know what you use the Bluetooth for, but it's got a Bluetooth button.
Yeah, we will find out.
So this is Hohem iSteady Pro 4 that we purchased on Amazon. I can't remember how much it was, but I think it was like 20, 25 bucks, something like that.
I thought this was $100 for this.
It might have been.
Yeah, it wasn't very much. I mean, for what it does for us, it was worth every penny.
You're probably right.
I think that one was about $100.
Yeah, we ordered it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it finally arrived.
So this one here is, well, they're calling it splash proof. So, you know, a guy could splash some water on it. It's not going to destroy it. The cameras
Cameras are
water
resistant
resistant
up to 30 feet.
up to 30 feet, so they're basically waterproof for all practical purposes. So yeah, we should be set to go. So we're going to play with this some more, and we're going to shoot some video, and you'll be seeing the video real soon because we're real curious to see how this works out. So it's just another tool we've got in our toolbox, trying to improve the video quality and the production quality, and it'll help us keep all of you informed as to how the railroad's coming and so forth and so on. Justin's finding all kinds of new functions here. So check in later, and we'll be showing you more on this. Very cool piece.